Welcome to Twin Whistles. I'm your host, Joe Chap. Today we're going to be talking about the Detroit Pistons because I feel like I have to reverse my course of what I was talking about in the last video with the Pistons. I told you in the last video that Cade would eventually become prone to losing. He would eventually he'd be pissed off and he would demand out. That's what I had said. That's exactly what I said. But as we look forward on July 7th, 2024, what Trajan Langdon has done has reignited the fan base and reignited the team because for once they're actually building around Cade. For once, they're actually putting people that can shoot around Cade. And for once, it's a general manager that understands the value of adding players to the roster who can shoot. We were with Troy Weaver for a long time, and we talked about it at nauseum with Troy Weaver. We said this guy collects big men like they're candy. This guy collects big men like they are old cars, or whatever the case may be, because that's how it was with Troy Weaver and the Detroit Pistons. As we look forward to the Pistons this year, it is fantastic to see what he has added to the team. This is the players that he's added to the team in the offseason player acquisitions so far. He drafted Ron Holland, he drafted Bobby Clintman, and acquired Wendell Moore in that trade, which got them Bobby Clintman. He acquired Tim Hardaway from Dallas. He signed Tobias Harris, and he signed Malik Beasley. Now you're asking me, you're telling me, what does Malik Beasley do? What does Tobias Harris do? And what does Tim Hardaway do? I remember him at Michigan, but I don't remember. I really don't care. He hasn't been really an elephant. He hasn't been nothing in the NBA. This is what he's doing. So if you look at the career 3-point percentages of each guy that he's got, even Simone Fontecchio, who he just signed yesterday, 36%, 36%, 38% for Malik Beasley, and for Fontecchio, it's 37%. He was the last guy that was added. He was yesterday's signing by Troy Weaver. What a great, what a great signing that was, because we know Fontecchio from late in the season. He showed glimpses, and honestly, you put more 3-point shooters around like Tobias Harris, like Tim Hardaway, and Malik Beasley, you are doing something right. When you look at the Detroit Pistons in threes last season, Beasley and Hardaway combined for 435. The top four Pistons combined for 432. I just want you to think about that for a minute. Just think about it in the prism of the Pistons last year, and there's two players that were better than the Pistons top four. Why were the Pistons top four not shooting threes? Well, they can't. Cade Cunningham really can't. He was injured. Jaden Ivey really can't. Jalen Duren can't. And then you look at like Asar Thompson. He's always been a bad 3-point shooter. So Trajan Langdon came into this organization. He knew he had to fix what was wrong and try to fix it on the fly. Now he's not going to take shortcuts. He's not going to take this, you know, prism where he's going to go up and then they're going to go down. He's going to try to build the team slowly but surely. They're going to become something. And when you look at what he's signed so far, Malik Beasley, Simone Fontecchio, who I forgot to add to the graphic, Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway, all guys that have a 3-point shot that can be useful on the 3-point line. When you talk about the Detroit Pistons, for years, since Cade Cunningham has been drafted, they had not been able to shoot the 3-point well. That's been one of the things that the Detroit Pistons have not been able to do. And you look at what they've been able to do this offseason with the way that Langdon has reorchestrated this team in a very short manner. Because if we remember right, they fired Troy Weaver. They didn't officially announce Langdon for weeks. They didn't hire a coach until after the draft. But somehow they've been able to put together a roster that can really do something. Now, the next thing you got to understand is like with Langdon is what trades is he going to make this offseason that's going to make this team well off? Because I look at Trajan Langdon, the way he's been signing players, the drafting players. He drafted Ron Holland. I think he sees Ron Holland as a guy who could eventually take that next step up. But look, If you're a Pistons fan, you should be excited, elated that there's actually a general manager in town that can make the necessary moves to make this team better. Because as we've seen with Troy Weaver, they were not a good team under Troy Weaver. And honestly, every year that he was there, they got progressively worse. You see with Langdon, he has an identity that he wants to go after. If you look at the New Orleans Pelicans as any kind of identifier of what he wants to do, look, McCollum is a good three-point shooter. They hired Vincent, who is the three-point shooter, shooting guy, the shooting guru, as they call it. So you can see that they want to get better at the three-point shot because that's how you win in today's NBA. Like I know Troy Weaver was sitting back and he was going, "Oh my God, like we're gonna win the right way," and it's like, come on, dude, you're a clown. But the Pistons are on the right track. We'll see what Langdon does for the rest of the offseason, but so far, Langdon has done a damn good job at progressing this team in the right foot forward. And honestly, if we're going to be totally honest with each other, I think this Pistons team next year is going to be a lot better than Pistons teams in the past because they're going to be able to shoot the 3-point. They're going to be able to space the floor. They're going to be able to do the little things that are needed to be done in the NBA, in today's NBA. I know from Troy Weaver, he doesn't want to think like that. But in today's NBA, you need the 3-point shot. You need to be able to shoot and they need to be able to space the floor. And this Pistons team looks like they could do all of it. That will amount to enormous amounts of wins. Will they make this jump up to, you know, Eastern Conference relevancy? Who knows? Who knows what is left for Trajan Langdon the rest of this offseason because we're only like 3 weeks in, 2 weeks in, and this guy's made more moves, more impactful moves that are going to benefit the roster than Troy Weaver has ever done. And that's a credit to him. And that's a credit to that scouting staff that he's assembled. That's a credit to the organization for believing in Langdon and letting him do the things that he needs to be done. One of the things I always said about Troy Weaver, I liked him on draft day. The rest of the year, I did not like him. I thought he was a very off kilter general manager. I thought he could have done a lot better. But honestly, the way that the Pistons are being built, I do like this, and I think they're going to be okay moving forward. But I want to know what you want to know. What you want? What do you think? Do you think the Pistons will be better next year because of all the moves? Like we said, when you look at the 3-point shooters, the Tobias Harris for his career is 36%. Tim Hardaway is 36%. Malik Beasley 38%. Fontecchio 37%. And then you look at the Beasley and Hardaway combined, Pistons top four combined. The Beasley and Hardaway shot more threes last season than the top four of the Pistons. That right there should tell you everything you need to know about the Detroit Pistons and where they're heading. I'm Joe Chapp of JC Sports. We will see you in the next video as we talk more Detroit Pistons basketball, but we will always talk Detroit sports, Detroit Red Wings, Detroit Tigers, Detroit Lions, Michigan State. So stay tuned to this channel, and we might have some national stuff that will come about later. But thank you for watching. We will see you in the next video. And as always, subscribe, rate, like, comment. We appreciate it all. Thank you. I'm Joe Chapp of Detroit of JC Sports, and we'll see you in the next video.